What's going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Thursday. Happy Thirsty Thursday out there to those who celebrate. It's time for another Vikings news dump. And I actually have a really funny toilet story, but I don't think I want to share it. Although I can't tease it and then not tell it. Doesn't matter. So we bought these new toilets, right? Home Depot, 5-star rated, and they're supposed to be good for the environment because they use less water, but they're supposed to have like the pressure. You know what I mean? And for a long time, we couldn't figure out what was going on because it would clog quite a bit, and we were wondering what the hell is going on. This was literally advertised as an anti-clogging toilet. I don't know how, but I hate that we went down this rabbit hole. I came across the Reddit poop knife thread, and I thought maybe there's something wrong with us. Maybe we're eating too much bran. I don't know. I don't know, but it turned out that so my middle son is a bit of a practical joker, and he was so enamored because the toilet has two buttons, where one is for number one and number two is for number two. Smaller button, big button, right? And he thought it would be so funny to take the top off the toilet, unscrew the buttons, the pins that go into their respective areas where they flush, right? And shorten them. So every single flush was getting about a quarter of the water that it should have. And it's something that I should recognize right away, but I didn't even think about it. So I adjusted the pins, and now it's just now it's like, those tubes that they have at the bank where you put your deposit in, it goes poof. Now it's like that, except that direction. It's great. Home improvement talk. Good times. But so Kirk Cousins, and I know a lot of people are like, Kurt's not even a quarterback anymore. Why are you so obsessed with him, bro? Here's always what's fun too. When you literally just lay out a rational explanation, they just call it cope. All right, so Kirk Cousins was introduced to the Falcons fans, and Kurt was at his presser, and he was talking about, it's about winning games in January and February, and I think that we can do that here. And it's like we got screwed over in a timeshare, and then you see this guy, the sleazy timeshare salesman, just like pitching a new group of people, and you kind of want to warn them, but also no one warned you, so screw them. I don't know, man. Kurt's going to want to build a monorail. But, yeah, Kurt's senior photo as well as the Dirty Birds made the rounds on social medias. Now, I thought that Kurto Chainz was sort of like our thing together, Like, I understand, like Kurt loves trademarking things and taking with him, so maybe he trademarked Kurto Chainz and Kirk Thuggins. Who knows? Who knows, man? But, yeah, they already started out with the chains, and I feel a little violated. But now I fully understand how Western Michigan felt when PJ Fleck was like, hey, that row the boat thing? I'm taking it. Taking it to Minnesota with me. But anyways, best of luck except for when you return to U.S. Bank Stadium. Good times, man. Something that's also good times is Eric Kendricks is fantastic times. And Kendricks was released by the Chargers, and he played great last season. And he was supposed to sign with San Francisco and basically filling in for Drake Greenlaw as he comes back from an Achilles. And Kendricks still got some good ball left in him, but plot twist. Pelissero. Veteran linebacker Eric Kendricks now expected to sign with the Cowboys per sources. The 49ers made a strong offer, but Kendricks is opting to reunite with Mike Zimmer, who gets an experienced linebacker to help his run defense. Now, Kendricks with Micah Parsons, it's pretty fun, man. And what's interesting, so Kendricks and Zimmer reuniting, right? So Kendricks was drafted in the second year of Zim, the year after Anthony Barr. Second-round pick out of UCLA, was one of the best off-ball linebackers in the game, especially one of the best coverage off-ball linebackers in the game for many years. And like I said, Kendricks had a very solid season last year with the Chargers, and now they get him in here. But again, it's interesting because you remember, after Zimmer and Spielman were fired, Kendricks made those fear-based organization comments, right? Once Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi came in. So I don't know, like, it's possible for people to patch things up, or was Rick Spielman the bad guy? I don't know. Who knows? Was Rick Spielman the guy who wasn't giving Brian O'Neill high fives in the hallway? Who knows? Who knows, man? Someone who we hope isn't going to be in the hallways at TCO Performance Center coming up is Xavien Howard, now officially released by the Miami Dolphins. Pelissero again. Among the long-anticipated moves that are now official, the Dolphins have released cornerback Xavien Howard. From this point forward, teams can use post-June 1st designations, blah, 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 blah. So Xavien Howard, of course, tied with Brian Flores from their days in Miami. He played his best ball, led the tied for the league lead in interceptions one of the years he was with Flores, and he's got experience on the outside. Would absolutely love and adore to have him in purple. And the Vikings, they got that cap space both this year and next year to be able to make something work. He is on the wrong side of 30, but having a veteran presence in that secondary would be a big-time step and alleviate that need in the draft as well. Also, so Doran Hicks, after the Vikings signed Blake Cashman outside, how about that? Doran Hicks was expendable, and Hicks signed a 2-year free agent deal with the Cleveland Browns. Said goodbye in a very classy tweet. Hicks, the last 2 years in Minnesota have been an absolute blessing for not only myself, but for our entire family. I'm grateful for my teammates, coaches, staff, and all the friends we made along the way. Thank you for everything, Minnesota. Here's to the next chapter. Now, I love Doran Hicks, man. Like, he was dynamite last year. He was one, I would say, Metellus Beasley and Jordan Hicks were the guys who benefited the most with the switch to the Flores scheme. Because, I mean, Hicks was sort of whatever in the Donachelle defense, but a lot of people were. But Hicks was a leader. Hicks was a tackling machine. Hicks was just all over the place. He was greatly improved in coverage as well. I mean, he played after that shin compartment syndrome thing, and he's great. He's fantastic. So the Browns got themselves a great off-ball linebacker. He'll do really good things in Jim Schwartz defense and with our guy Stefanski. So there you go. Let me see Doran Hicks. Hook him, baby. The pride of Texas. Let's go. Wait a minute. So speaking of 58, so where are we at? So Doran Hicks wore 58 for the Vikings. That number is now available. And reportedly, Jonathan Grenard from Vikes fan page is going to be wearing that. Now, VFP has been pretty spot on about these numbers. So Grenard down in the 5'8". Now, he wore 52 with the Texans, but that's spoken for by Sheldon Day at the moment. And Grenard wore 58 at Florida Gators. Let's go, babe. So, again, numerology podcast coming soon. I love it because now, like, the number rules are so relaxed. Guys can basically just wear whatever they want as long as they're not a lineman or an interior defensive lineman. It's basically what it is. So it's fun to see, oh, this is my number in high school, or, ooh, this number means a lot to me, or, ooh, whatever. Speaking of whatever. So Chris Sims, and we said a bajillion %, as soon as the Vikings parted ways with Kirk Cousins, people would criticize the Vikings for letting go of Kirk Cousins. Sims said this: the more and more I think about it, the more I ask what the hell the Vikings were thinking letting... Hold on, we can just stop it there. What the hell were the Vikings thinking? That's history since 1961, baby. Letting Kirk Cousins out the door, a top 10 to 12 quarterback over a few million to start over at the most important position with no guarantees at drafting one of the top guys. I'm not worried. Like, the Vikings are 11. It's like, sure. Could the top 4 guys go ahead of the Vikes? Sure. Should the Vikes trade up? Yes, I think they will. If the top 4 quarterbacks are off the board, I mean, you're at 11. Do you stick and pick and take Bo Nix, or do you take Michael Penix, or do you take Rattler, or maneuver to the back end of the first or the top of the second? Again, this is not your normal quarterback draft where the quarterback 4, 5, 6 in this year's draft is not equivalent to other drafts 4, 5, 6. I mean, some other years, quarterbacks 4, 5, 6 don't come off the board until late day 3. All right, so this is a very deep quarterback class, and I ain't worried. I'm worried about the Vikings coming away with their quarterback in the future. Also, all this revisionist history, we said exactly that this would happen because the national media thinks you're stupid, and they'll act like you don't remember them absolutely poo-pooing on Kirk Cousins for the last 6 years. But all of a sudden, he joins the Falcons, and he's the missing Infinity Stone. All of a sudden, they got the glove. Just please. So stupid and ridiculous. But, of course, that's what happens with the Vikings, right? And also, our guy Thor Nystrom is banging the table for J.J. McCarthy, and I see the upside. You got the mobility, you got the raw skills, you have the upside, you got the age. Everything is going on for him, man. Also, I know a guy in this class with a little Fran Tarkenton in him. Yeah, that's right. All the thugs. The Vikings have been chasing that high, trying to find their next Fran Tarkenton. I'll settle for Joe Cap. The guy who through without the laces, the guy who was all heart and hustle, the guy who would drink tequila till the sun came up and get in a fist fight and still go out and dominate the next day. Guy who threw 7 touchdowns in one game. Joe Cat, baby. That's a roll. Some business. Kramer Strib. The Vikings did not place tenders on restricted free agents, run back Cam Akers and defensive tackle Kyrus Tonga, making them unrestricted free agents who can sign elsewhere. The lowest level tender would have been nearly $3 million. So now, this does not mean that the Vikings aren't going to bring them back. And this happened with Chad Beebe in 2021, where the restricted free agent tender this year would have been about $2.945 million, somewhere in there. And that's almost thrice the league minimum for their respective ages. So probably weren't going to do that. So the with BB, they didn't tender him, but then they signed him back on the league minimum deal. I think that's something that could happen with Tonga and maybe Akers, but Akers down the line, because Akers is coming off his second torn Achilles, and yes, he's young. Yes, the Vikings traded for him last year. Yes, he was solid in limited duty. Just said duty, but which is funny considering the topic at the top. But yeah. It could be something that's right before training camp or in the middle of training camp, maybe. And Tonga, the Vikings have had issues not having a true 1 or 0 tech nose, and Tonga is that guy. I don't know why he doesn't play more. I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I don't know if it's a Tonga thing, but he's talented, and good things tend to happen when he's out there absorbing bodies. So I don't know, man. Speaking of absorbing, I need to take all this energy and just inject it straight into my veins. Like, the more I look at Derrick Henry in the Ravens all-black uniform and with the black visor going on, the more I think I might be pregnant. Like, I may, this may be the immaculate conception. I may be with child right now, because I have never had the inkling to buy another team's jersey. This one's pretty good, though. Although, is he going to wear 2 in Baltimore? Because he never changed his number once they relaxed the number rules. Because remember, when Derrick Henry came in as rookie, he wore number 2 all preseason and training camp, even though that was technically against the rules then. Well, not in preseason, but you know what I mean. But then regular season, finally changed to 22, like everyone thought that he was going to. And then once the NFL relaxed the rules a couple years ago, like, he didn't change the 2, and that's what he wore in high school and college at Alabama. But I don't know. That looks really good. That looks really damn good, man. But lastly, so speaking of jerseys, so we put out. So I feel like this was misinterpreted. So basically, we put out a joke where Vikings fans, Sam Darnold does not impress me. We need to see something from him. Also, Vikings fans bought 10,500 Josh Dobbs jerseys after the Falcons game, right? Which did happen, by the way. Also, I'm pretty sure that they just reused old Greg Jennings jerseys and just put a new nameplate on the back. I don't know, man. But I feel like a lot of people misunderstood this one. Actually, I think Najee Thompson came after us. But no. It's like, hey, if Sam Darnold or rookie TBD shows a scintilla of promise, you son of a bee, we're in. We're in, man. And, I mean, I was on board the Josh Dobbs, the Passionate rocket as well. I mean, obviously, but didn't quite work out. But also, like, those Josh Dobbs jerseys are going to become collector's items. Like, I kind of want one now. So, there you go. But that's it. That's Vikings news dump on this beautiful Thursday. You guys know what to do. You're the best. We're breaking records with views. We're breaking records with super chats and Venmos, and you guys humble me every single day. The side hustle is a ton of fun. You guys are awesome. Skull production value as I watch a movie.